If you've ever spent time around youth sports, you've probably heard parents cheering from the sidelines, offering advice, calling out encouragement, trying to help. Sometimes, that's exactly what's needed. And sometimes the greatest gift a parent can give is knowing when to be quiet. Today's conversation starts with tennis, but it quickly becomes something much bigger. It's about knowing when to step in and when to step back and trusting someone enough to let them find their own way. Rex Miller has spent a lifetime around tennis as a player, as a coach, as a filmmaker, and a storyteller even. His daughter Sadie found the game on her own terms. Together, they remind us that the best relationships aren't built by controlling every moment. They're built by creating enough space to let someone else grow. This is our conversation with Rex and Sadie Miller. Welcome back to He Said Sunset.
We're back. It's 16. Wow.
Episode 16. I can't
16. That's
we're like 14 away from 30, which is like that moment I think where we're gonna just go.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Nash, one of the things that I think we've learned about them doing this podcast is the best conversations we have really aren't about sports.
They really
sports just happens to bring people together. Yeah. And today's guests are a perfect example of that. Rex has spent his entire life around tennis, as a player, as a coach, as a documentary filmmaker. But then we got Sadie, and Sadie didn't exactly fall in love with tennis, and it took a while to get there. And so today we're going to talk about 3 generations of tennis, what it means to be a coach, a dad, and a daughter who finds her own path. Rex, Sadie, welcome to He Said Sunset.
Welcome, y'all.
Thanks for having us. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time, but we're going to start with you, Rex, all right? Because I love your story. What is your earliest memory with the tennis racket?
Oh, that's easy. I was the kid in the crib next to the tennis court while my fanatic parents played every free moment they had, which was weekends for the most part. So yeah, and then after I was able to walk, the backboard was my babysitter while they were playing. So I spent 10,000 hours on the backboard by myself. And then they would play with me later after they finished all their games. And so that was the origin story. There was junior tennis, college tennis, a little sort of regional, local pro tennis. And I'm still a weekend warrior, and I coach quite a bit.
You got to get to that, Dad. I mean, you did get a knee replacement, so you're getting close.
He always loves to bring it.
You're getting close.
Better than ever on the knees.
I know, right? What did your father get right as being a coach?
Yeah, my father was a part-time tennis coach. He was pretty chill. What did he get right? He at a certain point in my junior career stepped back and just let me do it by myself. He stopped coming to my matches maybe when I was like 14, 15. And I was just on my own. And in New York City, he kind of stopped driving me around even. So I would take the train and buses and whatnot. And I had my own group of tennis player friends.
Okay.
So we were, having a wild time playing tournaments around New York City and upstate New York, and even took some trips around the country with tennis buddies to go to tournaments. So yeah, he realized early on to kind of be a little hands off.
Okay. Did you take that when you became sort of a coach? Yeah. Was that your sort of mantra, or were you totally different?
The approach to having children and involving them in tennis, the first child, Sadie here, who's 18, was kind of an experimental case, I guess. And I was both hands-on and hands-off. Early on, when she's like a little toddler, I was kind of hands-on. I would do this thing. Okay, we got to hit 5 forehands and 5 backhands before dinner. That's
okay.
It. And that, if you do it, it takes 30 seconds.
Right.
And often there was a little pushback, but I would kind of make her do the 5 forehands and 5 backhands. And so she learned to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And then, that was the origin. She could probably tell her version of that. But at a certain point, I had to be very hands off because she would resist. But I always try to sneak a little bit in there,
Okay.
so that she would learn to hit the ball.
Me and my sister used to hate. He brought us during COVID to the court as much as we could.
Yeah.
Both of us didn't like it until I started like actually kind of like I was like, this could be decent. Like I'm not great.
You could be great if you put the energy into it. So, but
I'm just not the biggest. I'm not the biggest fan of tennis. I've never really been.
Okay.
I mean, I like watching it, but like,
Okay.
not the biggest fan of playing. Rex, when did tennis become more than just a sport?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
I had no choice. I was just immersed in it. Our weekends were just always at the tennis club when I was a little kid, a teenager. And then as a high school player, I no longer expected to go to Wimbledon.
Okay.
When I was 10 years old, that still seemed like a possibility. I was very good for like a 10-year-old. I probably peaked when I was 12, and then coasted through the rest of my junior career.
Yeah.
But oh wait, say that question again.
When it become more of like more than just a sport?
It was always part of my ecosystem, my environment. When I went to college, I played, varsity tennis D1, which wasn't as intense back then in the 80s as it might be now as a full-time college athlete. So I had a great time playing college tennis, had a good group of guys at Colgate University. And then as a graduate, I was morphing into being a photojournalist and then eventually filmmaker. So tennis was an ecosystem that I had entry point to. So I would shoot tennis events and get published. And then later I made documentary films around tennis. And, I just always played a little bit. And at different times in my professional life, I've coached tennis, and it sort of has always balanced off being a freelance photographer and then filmmaker.
So was there ever a moment where there's too much pressure and you lost joy with it? Because one of the things I've noticed, with parenting with Nash too, is like
happens a lot.
Like when you start to lose the joy, like now it's time to pull back and let's find that again.
I played for an AAU team.
He played
for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We won 3 games. The first season we won 3 games. The next season we won 0. I lost joy because of that. I was like, I never got the ball. I never felt like I was doing anything. Every time I went on the court, I was on for like 2 minutes and I got
So
back on the bench.
When you lose that joy, it's time to sort of like, how do you take a time out? So was there ever a moment where you were like, I gotta take a time out and find that again?
Yeah, it's interesting when I hear that story. Yeah, I can totally relate. When I was like 13, 14, 15, I didn't really grow. And then I was like losing to people I used to beat. Everybody was like 6'2" and shaving, and I'm still like a skinny little kid. And that was where I lost some joy. I'm going to these tournaments and not winning. And I found it again. I grew finally to 6'3" and had better results and played college tennis. That was a lot of fun. And then after college, I kind of wasn't really very into it. Got into different sports and different communities. And then I kind of found a love for it again. And when you find the love for it on your own without anybody pushing you, that's when you kind of know that you like it. And then I have found that there's different things that I like about tennis. When you're a kid, and you're in that tournament competitive world, a lot of your self-esteem gets attached to your ranking.
Yeah.
Or did you get a trophy or not? Or who are you mingling with? And tennis, there's very much this thing called pecking order.
Yeah.
Where you walk into a club and depending on your ranking, people might be like, oh, hi. Or if you have a lower ranking, like nobody knows you. So, once you get out of college and you're in your 20s and 30s and working, then you kind of play because you like the people you hang out with after you play. And like these days, I have 25 guys from my tennis club on a text chain.
No way.
And it's just, who wants to hit today? Who's playing doubles at 5? We got 7 guys. We need 1 more. So it's a lot of fun, and there's no, ridiculous stuff.
That's awesome.
You need to find that.
I do. Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You're
Yes.
working out. So
I'm
you should be
working out and I'm getting there. The knee is we're progressing.
progressing.
Yes. All right, Sadie, let's pivot to you. Before tennis, what was your sport, if anything? Or if it wasn't a sport, what was your thing?
But I wasn't very good. So-
Okay. What like
The one thing that was like kind of mine was I did gymnastics.
okay.
And then that became like it was either I compete or I just stay at the level I was. So I kind of moved over to dance where I stayed until I just graduated from there. So
Okay.
She's been doing dance 10 years.
yeah.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, I was on the competitive team for the past 4 years.
And we have to shout out a lot of the dance people because it's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's a lot more difficult than you think.
Well, and I would think it would help with tennis movement, right? I mean, being able to move around.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of the similar and opposite of each other because when I come from a tennis match, I find it a lot harder for me to get into the
Okay.
like being loose and my adrenaline's still like very up. So yeah, and also tennis is like really hard on your knees and
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so
I,
it makes it hard.
I can tell.
Yeah. So
Can I share a story from my perspective
please.
about when I discovered that she was kind of into tennis, and she can tell her version.
I love it.
But my version was we went up to Massachusetts to do some filming on this documentary with this amazing coach and character, Art Carrington. He's in my Arthur Ashe film and my Althea Gibson film. He trained closely with both of them and
Okay.
played pro tennis and whatnot. So from my perspective, Sadie was up there for the fun, and she was doing the boom pole as I'm filming.
Okay.
And we
I got
went
paid.
You got paid.
she got
Nice.
paid, and
Okay.
we were with a couple friends.
Perfect.
It was a fun trip. And then she did a great job doing boom pole, very focused, very locked in. And then from my perspective, the last day we were there, I'm like, where's Sadie? Where's Sadie? I look around, she's out there on the 4th court playing with some stranger out there kind of battling and hitting. I'm like, oh, wow. Because she hadn't in the last few years shown that much interest in tennis. And then from my perspective, I think it was on the way home, she just informed me that she was going to go out for the tennis team. That was in 10th grade, and
Okay.
we were about to start school back up, and I'm like, okay, have at it.
Right.
And
It's yours.
she wound up playing 3 years on the team, and the last 2 years she invited me to be the assistant coach, and I had a great time, and she made an incredible amount of improvement each year.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that's my perspective on her tennis journey.
All right. So let's hear yours now.
I did when I was younger. I did at our club. I did the team there. What was it?
Little clinics and stuff.
JTT, kind of. It was, but I didn't really enjoy it.
Okay.
I didn't like the people. I didn't like the coaches. I didn't like having to do it every single day or like multiple times a week. Just like, I don't know. So I kind of took a break.
Okay.
One that he didn't really like, I'm assuming, but I don't even remember it happening. It just kind of just stopped.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember exactly how, but we went out and somehow you convinced me to join one of Coach T's clinics. And then we went back the next week and sometimes twice a week. And then we'd start traveling to different courts to do different clinics. And one time we drove down to, what was it, Atlanta?
Right after
For a-
COVID, we went with about 20 kids and our local tennis community,
Okay.
and we brought all these kids down to Atlanta, and they spent about 4 hours on the tennis court. Then they spent literally 9.5 hours, all 20 kids in this pool together.
Yeah.
They just hadn't had any social interaction.
Right. So they starved for that interaction. Like,
So the tennis went with the pool, went
Right.
with the community. And, I always have since felt that Sadie's into the community aspect of it as much even more than the playing tennis
Right.
playing.
When I started my doubles.
So that resonates with me. So I tried to play tournaments and things like that and absolutely loathed it. I just, because that pecking order, like you said, resonates very strongly with me, because if you weren't ranked, in the high 1 to 20, you were like 80, 90, no one cared about
He also
you.
had a bad attitude.
I did. I had a horrible attitude.
He always
But
tells
what
me, he's like,
that's one of the things that kept me from
a lot of
achieving
broken rackets.
lots of broken rackets.
So low.
Yeah, that probably is why I was so low.
Coach Sadie.
Coach Sadie. All right. So, but what I loved was I was dropped off at Goldsboro. I grew up in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I was dropped off at the Goldsboro Country Club at like 7 or 8 in the morning and picked up at 6 or 8 in the evening. And it was 10 or 15 of us. And we would swim. And then someone said, hey, who wants to play a set? And someone raised their hand and they would go play a set. And then whoever wanted to play next would play next. Or you play doubles or whatever.
He tells the story every time I don't want to do something.
But I love that community aspect. I didn't love the rigor of like the tournaments, but it was getting together with people and just hitting and just having fun.
That's my story too. Like in high school, the social aspect of it, we'd go to this club after school and it was tough to get a court. This is New York City indoor tennis. You're lucky if you got on a court for an hour with like 3 other people. But then we'd hang out till 8 or 9 at night at the club with these different people. And yeah, I was always into that as much as just the on court.
Right. And that's the best part.
And for me as a kid, I went to a lot and played in a lot of big tournaments. They had several national and international tournaments in New York. And I'd maybe win one match or often lose in the first round. But I would go back each day to watch. And, I got to see people play that, turned out to be top 100 in the world, and including John McEnroe. But he was a junior. But I would go back and watch each day. So I like the spectator aspect as well as mingling with the other players.
Right.
So that's a whole part of it.
Sadie, when did you realize tennis was like a family legacy?
He always tells this story whenever he talks about his films, and it's this photo of his mom next to Althea Gibson on the tennis court holding their rackets together. And I feel like that's when I started. Like I don't remember what grade I was in, but we were at one of the screenings for the kids, and you brought the photo up on your laptop in front of the screen, and you said this is how my journey started for tennis. And I feel like that's when I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, that my mom played Althea.
Yeah, you told me that.
About 4 years before I was born.
Oh,
and
wow.
then there is this picture of the two of them, and that was on our wall in our house, and that was like the story that my mom would tell every time she got a chance.
Yeah.
And it was significant because my mom's Jamaican and brown skin, and here she was playing Althea at this restricted club outside of Philadelphia, the Marion Cricket Club. And it was the only time Althea played another woman of color after she started playing white tournaments.
Right.
And my mom lost 6-0, 6-1, but she's got this smile on her face.
Right.
Because Althea had just won Wimbledon a few weeks earlier. So yeah, that photo kind of decades later launched me into making the documentary about Althea. And the rest is history.
So that legacy, like, was that the pressure that was like, oh my God, this is just too much? Like, there's these different generations that have done this.
Well, for me, it was never really connected with like his family being like really tennis. It was more just like something that we do for a really long time. I remember my earliest memories are on our porch with our like fake net, like playing on the porch. And whenever I'd get tired, I'd make my mom play. And so she'd hold me while she'd play one-handed.
I remember that.
That's amazing.
She hold the baby on the hip, and
there you go. That's talented. I love that. That's awesome. All right. So like, what do you think changed within you? Like the moment you were like, yeah, I want to join the team. Like, I want to do this.
Well, I did like what? Like when we do small matches with Impact where we played tennis
That's
together.
our local tennis group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I played this girl in doubles, and she really, really scared me. Like she was like, we lost really badly because I was like one of the extra people, so I was just put in so that I could play. We lost. She was really scary. And this was 8th grade before going into high school. And my mom really wanted me to join the tennis team. And I said, no, I don't know anybody. Like, I'm not even that good. Like, maybe next year. Like, I just want to focus on dance right now.
Okay.
And the day before school starts, I go to one of the impact practices, and that girl's there.
Ooh.
And we were talking, and we're going to the same school. Oh, we're in the same classes. And she's like, yes, I'm doing the tennis team. I was like, well, dang, like I did know people.
Okay.
And I get there, and a senior on the tennis team who I'd played tennis with before, I saw them at practice, and she told the coach, you got to get Sadie to join the team, but I'd missed the tryouts. And he said, maybe next year. And so I was like, okay, well, now I have to go.
Okay.
And that girl that I played before, she's like my best friend. Like, she's been my best friend. Her name is Giselle, and she's awesome.
That's great. I love
And I'll
that.
join the next year, so.
Okay. So what do you think between the two of you guys, what has tennis given your relationship? Good or bad?
Oh, for me, it's all positive. I mean, I can pat myself on the back for like giving her space and not being a horrible tennis helicopter dad, because I've taught tennis for decades and I've experienced a ton of bad sports parents. You know, I used to have it's not when I was teaching in New York City where you have extra hovering, demanding, controlling parents. I had this thing called the parent rule, and they literally had to be 2 courts away from their child.
I love that.
While the child was taking a lesson. And I had this verbiage that explained that this is your kid's tennis journey, not yours. Go get a life, basically. But I also would make the kid, after every lesson, go thank their parent for paying for the lesson.
Right.
Even though the parent is kind of pushed out, the kid has to go acknowledge that the dad is doing something or the mom is doing something. So I had to kind of take my own medicine with my daughters and pull back. And I'm always angling to get Sadie on the court, and now her younger sister, who's 14, who's starting her own tennis thing. I'm always angling. Hey, Sadie, you want to go hit? But I try not to push, and I try to make it fun.
That's really hard.
Oh,
That's really difficult.
I've told him multiple times, Dad, I need you to be quiet while I'm playing. I need to be like not having coach over here. I have a coach right here that I can talk to about it. I don't need a coach in the stands.
I should have listened to my younger self, because I hated being coached. And talk about the bad attitude that I used to have. If my coach came around to watch my matches, I would stop playing. I literally would move from side. I don't know. I just didn't like being watched and being hovered over. So if she came, and I'm sorry, Joanne, I really apologize to
why
you.
You do that to me?
Is they would serve to me, and I literally would walk to the next side. I would give up points until she would get fed up and walk away, and then I would start playing again.
Wow, kid drama.
It was ridiculous.
Dad.
It was as a 50-year-old man, I realized this is silly.
You know, that's interesting, because when I was a kid, I played a lot of tennis, but I never had lessons. We didn't really have extra money for lessons. We just played all the time. And I had other kids to play with for the most part. So if there was ever an adult coach that wanted to tell me something, I'd be like, oh, thank you. Like, tell me more.
Right.
But not from my dad. Because if he'd tell me something, I would roll my eyes, you know. And then he just stopped telling me anything on the tennis court when I was about 14.
Okay.
And he just like kind of went silent a little bit. Now, it's interesting. He used to say this thing to me if I hit it in the net. What is it, Sadie? Hit over what?
Oh, hit over 2 nets.
Hit over 2
He'd
nets.
say hit over 2 nets. And I'd literally go like, that's so dumb. Two nets. And now I say it every day.
And you think about it, you're like, I
say it every day to my clients. Hit over 2 nets.
He's got my whole team saying it too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have all these slogans that everybody knows now.
Should put that on a t-shirt.
It is.
It's on a t-shirt? No way.
Yeah. There's 10 sayings that one of my
That's
Rex
amazing.
says.
Rex says.
Step into the kitchen.
Step into the kitchen. I love it. Oh my gosh. You need to send me an email with all those so I can come up with my own.
By the way, every time that like there's been moments where I've been like sitting in the corner of like, like the corner of like a basketball court, just, ball. I'm open. Ball. And you're like, move. I'm like, there's nobody guarding me. I got a free shot.
I know.
I got a free shot right here. Give me the ball.
So Nash, you raise an interesting thing about a team sport versus individual sport. So my own little tennis journey, by about 11th grade, I was also a little burnt out from going to practice, like, in the middle of the winter in New York City, like getting on a train after school to go find courts. So I had grown to 6'3", and I'm fairly coordinated. So my buddies on the basketball team just dragged me, you're playing basketball. So I was like, a super sub, what I was doing, but I could guard people or whatever.
Guard people, right.
So I had the best time being on this basketball team. I didn't play very much. Senior year, I played a little bit. But I had a great time on a team. And there's a nice division between tennis, individual sport, and hoops or soccer as the team sport. And on the team sport, you might never get the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Right? On the individual sport, you might be suffering because you can't figure it out and you have nobody to support you.
That's why I like doubles. So that brings up the doubles. Like, I loved having someone to, accentuate or build off of what my skill set was.
Sadie and I are both doubles specialists.
Are you? I love that.
I just get lonely.
You get lonely on the way.
And the way it was organized, we'd have like there was like a split in between three courts. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And I was always in the middle on this side, but all my friends were on this side. And so the two people around me would never want to talk to me. So I'd just be like...
In doubles, you're out there with your friend,
right?
Problem solving together,
right?
Winning together,
right? Losing together sometimes.
That helps,
and that does. It
really like being on a team sport because especially if I'm with my friends.
Yeah,
my friends, me and like a couple of my buddies, it's good chemistry. I know where they're going. I can see, like, I look at him like that way,
right,
that way.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to a segment of coach and dad. Like, how do you separate coach
and dad?
How do you separate that?
Yeah, I just had a short conversation about that with my 14-year-old because she just like 2 months ago decided she wants to play tennis. So until yesterday when she went to Duke tennis camp, she never really had played with another kid. It was just with me. Right. So we had a little quick conversation like when we're and she's very coach friendly so far. The division between coach and dad. Sadie can talk about it from my perspective. With Sadie, if I would coach her, I'd get a lot of eye rolls, and I would get like dad, like that.
Right.
So I would choose very carefully when I would say something. But being assistant coach for her team, she had no problem with me coaching the other girls, and they became receptive as they got to know me a little bit. And so I'd try to stay away from coaching Sadie. But then I even found, to my joy, by the end of her senior season this past fall, she was receptive in the middle of matches. Maybe when she's like in a tight match on the changeover, I could see in her eyes, she's like, okay, like, tell me one thing. Okay.
Not during practice, though. I just like when he talks to me during the match.
Oh, really?
Like, because you can't, if I'm hitting and I'm like trying to get into the groove of things and I just hear his voice, he's not allowed to talk during the point.
Okay.
And not in between points either, only like on a changeover.
In the matches.
So,
Yeah.
So it's a specific time.
So yeah, and you're resting and you're trying to think, especially when you're winning, it's very nice. He's like, yes, you're doing this, try to keep doing this. And even when you're losing, it's helpful, but only for a little bit.
Only for a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay, let me ask you this.
Take notes. Nash is like, Dad, take notes.
As dad and coach, would the same advice you get from me be different if coming from a coach?
Your advice is better than most coaches, but it can't be when during practice. It just can't be during practice.
It's a tightrope, you know.
Right.
Like, when you know somebody personally, you're more comfortable with telling them everything. Like, usually when you're trying to not overstep your boundaries, you'll be like, hey, maybe you should try this. And then you'll keep the other things for that. You just focus on one thing. But when you know them, they like see everything. And so it's harder to take advice from somebody who feels comfortable giving you the advice.
Yeah, for me, it just took a lot of like, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. Because as a coach and I've been playing forever, I can see when something needs to be adjusted, but you just have to like keep your mouth shut a lot.
I need to take notes.
And I found, you know, this is for like the dads out there or moms out there. I got a good learning experience from a colleague of mine that we took a trip together.
It's your first time having a teenager, really, right? So, all right, what makes each of you proudest about the other?
Why me first? I liked watching him with the rest of my team. Like, I really liked like merging the two worlds, even though it was like hard. Him connecting with my friends and like my team and my sport. So I really liked the team. Didn't like him, like I don't like playing one-on-one with him.
Yeah.
We would have to do, okay, I'll only play with you if you don't talk at all.
Okay.
Like, and so like seeing him in a separate setting than just us on our own really helped me. And so.
And I would be happy to hit with her. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to say anything.
Right.
But anyway, if she hits one in the net, then sometimes.
Yeah, right.
So what makes me proudest about Sadie's tennis journey? Oh, I'll tell you two things. One is her finding it on her own without me like ramming it down her throat. And then seeing her fight she had a whole series of like 3-hour matches where she's just out there on her own in North Carolina, you know, end of August heat and figuring it out, you know.
Third set tiebreakers.
Lose the first set in a tiebreaker, come back and win the second in a tiebreaker. There's like 30 people watching. And then she had a couple where she lost like 11-9 in the third set breaker, and she was so frustrated. And then she would win one. And just that I would love to watch her have that experience of having these losses and then finally have the win. So yeah, that's what makes me proud.
And what has it taught you about each other?
But I don't hate playing tennis with him. I just don't like listening.
Oh, I'm happy to learn that my daughter has fight in her and that she can problem solve on her own, under the spotlight, so to speak, of people watching. And she didn't cave in. She'd fight.
You still proud of me when I hit people with the ball?
Oof.
In a point, yeah.
In a point,
She didn't hit people outside of the point.
That's right.
I keep asking him to play me one-on-one because I'm like, he says he was better.
You know what?
Or
at my age.
No, not
basketball.
Oh, I told him as soon as the knee's ready and
I'm like,
pivot, we will go one-on-one.
You can still play horse, maybe.
We could.
I gave him my old shoes. I'm like, take them.
Well, doing deep dives into the lives of Althea Gibson and then Arthur Ashe, I learned so much. Just seeing how Althea went from being this very talented athlete to eventually at age 30 winning Wimbledon and Forest Hills US Open. And the things that the coach that was most pivotal for her eventual success, a guy named Sidney Llewellyn, who, like my mom, is from Jamaica. He was this incredible character cinematically, but he was also this really interesting coach who taught Althea the mental game.
Okay.
She had the physical skills,
but there is a mental game to it.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, in men's pro tennis, the number 1,000 guy can beat the number 200 guy any day of the week.
Right.
So it's all mental at that level. And then Arthur Ashe, I traced his whole life, growing up as a little kid in Richmond on the black public courts, where he learned because his father was the caretaker of the facility. But tracing the coaches that he interacted with just definitely helped make me a better coach, and seeing the obstacles that those champions overcame.
What are we trying to say?
I'm bad with words.
How
How has coaching made you a better filmmaker?
Oh, well, I'm a total tennis insider. So, I'm always trying to get to the root of, especially the mental, emotional game. And then by in wanting to tell these stories about iconic tennis players, I feel it's helped me a lot being a tennis coach, that I understand the game and I try to get across to the viewer a lot of the subtleties and nuances, and not just, oh, they won a title in 1957, but here's why they won the title.
Right, right.
So I like all the nuances of the emotional approach and the mental approach to tennis.
Yes. We're going to start wrapping up. So we're going to go to a lightning round.
Lightning round.
And we already know, because one of the questions was singles or doubles, and we already know you guys love doubles.
That's doubles.
All right, so you hit the next one.
All right. The U.S. Open or Wimbledon?
U.S. Open.
Okay.
I've been to both, love them both. Why do I have to choose? If I had to choose, it would be Wimbledon.
It would be Wimbledon. So that means clay, grass, or hard. Where would you rather play?
Hard.
Hard.
Clay, love to slide.
Right? That's so much fun, and it's so much better on your knees.
Favorite tennis pro?
My joint.
Ooh.
Maya Joint just beat Serena, and we watched her 2 years ago in the qualifying
No way.
at the U.S. Open, and we just wound up watching her for 3 hours, and so we loved Maya Joint. I think my favorite players is Carlos Alcaraz for
that's
his
mine.
creativity.
That's mine too.
Yeah.
Like Alcaraz.
Yeah. So I was a Fed guy.
Me too.
Loved the precision.
I remember waking up at like 3 a.m. on like Father's Day to watch Roger Federer with you.
Yeah. Well, I remember I think Emma was just born. My daughter was just born, and it was the long match with Fed and Nadal.
Oh,
and
at Wimbledon.
And I was in the basement of the house the entire time with her on the couch with me watching that. I was not happy with the ending, but loved the experience of being there. Well, not being there, but listening to it and watching it. All right, who's more competitive?
Me, probably. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's me, because anytime I lose, sometimes I get into the groove with playing. Like one year we went down to Florida to the USTA campus, and
Okay.
we just played all day, and it was late at night and it was about to close, and he was like, "Okay, let's go." No, serve one more. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna win this point. And
Did you win the point?
Eventually.
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 Is
All right,
what about you?
who's more competitive?
Oh, I'm pretty competitive. I had a couple of F-bombs yesterday on the court.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Things didn't go my way.
Things didn't go your way. Okay.
Between me and you, Dad, who do you think's more competitive? If you say the right answer, I will be really happy.
I think we're both even. I think we're.
Me.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I think we're even personally, but that's okay.
I get mad at everything.
Well, okay.
Like literally like everything.
Okay. Well, yes.
More competitive on your own or between each
Oh,
other?
between us, 100%.
Like-
yeah.
I'm a lot more competitive with them
Yeah.
and other
Yeah.
people.
Because every time if we're playing Xbox and I somehow
Whoa.
find a way to get ahead of him in football, because he's so much better than I have no idea what buttons are. I just
You just look at the formations. I know what you're doing.
But then if I get anywhere near ahead, he will go over and turn off the controller.
no, I don't.
He turns the game off
If
completely.
it's like 2 seconds and I'm down by like 7 or like 14, I'm like,
Yeah, and yes,
dang it.
I know. All right, one word to describe your relationship. You get one word.
Pretty darn good.
Okay, I think you can combine pretty darn good. Like fast, you can say it Southern.
Comfortable.
I like that. Oh my gosh. All right. So if someone listens to this 20 years from now, all right, what do you hope they get? What's the message?
Relationship.
Dads, chill out.
Dads, chill out. All right. What has something
My favorite, it's just Nothing related. My favorite saying, he gives me all these sayings from his mom. My favorite is "you're in power." Like if the cat chooses me over him to sit on my lap, he goes, "You're in power." Or if like I just did something, "You're in power."
You're in power.
You're in power.
You're in power. I love that.
That's me whenever Grace chooses me over you. I'm like,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
small victories of life.
All right, I both want you guys to finish the sentence, and then we are officially wrapped up. Sports gave us.
Together time.
There we go. What about you?
Fun.
Fun. Together, time, and fun. Those are usually combined together. So I love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
This
you
was
so
awesome.
much.
We are so excited to
Great
have you guys here.
conversation.
Loved it. I did not take notes, but guess what? I get to listen to this over and over
Yeah,
again.
you should probably take out.
You know what? I'll take the transcript and throw it in the chat. At the beginning of this episode, you heard the sounds of a tennis court, right? Tennis balls bouncing back and forth. But by the end, I really wasn't thinking about tennis anymore. Rather, I was thinking about every parent who's ever wanted to help, every coach who struggled to know when to speak, or every kid who's just needed the chance to figure something out on their own. And sometimes stepping back isn't giving up, it's just showing trust, rather. And maybe that's why 4 simple words captured this entire conversation. Dads, chill out. Y'all, thanks so much for spending time with us. Thank you to Rex and Sadie for coming on. Y'all just remember constantly, sports are the backdrop, but life is the conversation.